Seen information about Orchard Hills tricks or treating. What about the city of West Allis?
The city has got the hours set. Sunday. Wait, when is Halloween? Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. Yeah.
Halloween Saturday, yes.
It's on Halloween. I believe it's 4 to 7 is the citywide.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I think that's the same time that the neighborhood's doing it.
Mayor, just waiting.
No, Saturday.
For,
yeah,
YouTube
Saturday
detection
evening.
for you.
Sorry. All right. Looks like we're live.
Okay. Yep, we're live. Okay, so Mayor, I'll read the roll.
So
Mayor
Steve,
Devine.
you want to?
Sure. Okay, Mayor Devine. Amanda Nowak.
Here.
Wayne Clark.
Yes, thank you.
John Keckeisen. Rossi Mecca.
Here.
I'm sorry, I got kicked off for a second. Is that everybody? We have a quorum?
Eric Torkelson is here. I don't know if I didn't hear my name called.
Okay.
Brian.
Steve, are you still with us?
Still here. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
scrambling to mute the YouTube and get a little bit of a feedback here.
Okay.
Eric Torkelson, thank you. Brian Frank.
Yep.
Thank you. David Roshka.
Here.
Kathleen Degenhardt.
I saw her.
Saw her, yeah.
Here.
Thank you,
I'm here.
Kathleen.
Yep.
Thank you. Ben Holt, alternate. No, okay. So we have 7 present, 8 including the mayor. We have a quorum.
Okay, very good. Item C on our agenda will be approval of the minutes from our meeting on August 26th. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
The motion by Commissioner Clark, second by Commissioner Degenhardt. Were there any adjustments to the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The minutes are approved. We will move on to items 2A and 2B.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, can we, there
Sure.
we go. So this first item is for a special use for a mixed use at 8825 West National Avenue. The use is for a proposed grocery store and 2 residential units. Under the zoning code, mixed residential and commercial uses are a special use under the C2 neighborhood commercial district. The public hearing is scheduled for next week, November 4th. The operations of the grocery store, they'll be open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 8 to 5 on Sunday. The store will be managed by 2 family members who will live on site. They'll be selling mostly Latin American products, and this business will be within the old pool supply store. The interior plans show a almost 1,400 square foot grocery store. They'll be adding new flooring, counters, shelves, coolers, as well as adding a ADA accessible public restroom. They'll be replacing a garage door, which used to go to a showcase pool outside. They'll be filling up that garage door with concrete, and they'll also be installing new flooring in the 2 apartments. The applicants are proposing to replace the metal shed and chain link fence in the backyard with parking, as well as removing the swimming pool and replacing that with parking. They'll be removing a wood canopy that is dilapidated, as well as they'll be adding new landscaping on the northeast and west sides of the property. The parking code asks for 8 parking stalls, and they have 8 parking stalls. On the front facade of the building, they will be removing a metal sign, as well as repairing wooden fascia boards. They will also be replacing a roof deck and railing. And like I said, they'll also be replacing that wood canopy that you see in front of you. The applicants have done a really great job of sending us an updated plan with a lot of the conditions that we've asked for. The only two remaining conditions that we're asking for is to show details of exterior paint colors, as well as details of a four-sided refuse enclosure. Staff recommends approval of this project.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Clark, a second by Commissioner Rashka. Is there any discussion? Or are there any questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 And if there's anybody opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries.
And Mr. Mayor, a question for Sean. What is the name of this grocery store going to be?
They don't have a name for their grocery store yet. We're looking forward to seeing what it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we can move on to items 3A and 3B.
Thank you, Mayor. This next item refers to a special use for a brewery that is proposed to be on 6749 West National Avenue. This first item, however, is for the sale of city land to that applicant. So the city's received a letter of intent for the purchase of land, and the land, I should say, they purchased the former Perfect Screw building, and the city-owned land is that dashed line that you see in the upper left, as well as the diamond-shaped parcel of land that is adjacent to National Avenue. The future development is applicable to, oh, can we go back? Thank you. The future development is applicable to zoning and land use regulation, as well as all applicable city codes. The sale of the lot will make the property taxable, and the city would no longer have to maintain the lot. The redevelopment plan also confirms to the long-range comprehensive plan for the city. We have plans to have the Community Development Authority consider the land sale on November 10th. Staff recommends Plan Commission approval for the sale of this land.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? This is on 3A. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Item carries. And now we'll move to items 3B. Do we take 3B and C together or
Yes.
separate? Together? Okay.
So the special use is for the brewery, and the zoning code for the brewery is a brewery or distillery micro. So a microbrewery is a special use in the M1 manufacturing district. And they will have their public hearing next week on November 4th. The brewery will also include a tap room and outdoor beer garden. This project is also yet to be named. Maybe the applicants are open to suggestions. The brewery hours will be Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And their tap room hours will also be Monday through Sunday, but 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. They will have 12 full-time employees to start and hope to have up to 20 employees within 3 years. The building is roughly 10,000 square feet with 70% of about 70% planned to be a tap room and 30% to be the brewery space. The tap room will include a new bar, seating area, lounge, accessible restrooms, a dance floor / meeting room, an office, and a walk-in cooler. The brewery space will include the brew tanks as well as a shipping and receiving area. The outdoor part of the brewery will include two volleyball courts, a bocce ball pit, an area to play cornhole, decorative benches, sail shades, an outdoor bar, and space for a food truck. They'll have athletic directional lighting for the outdoor play area, as well as we'll also have landscaping, which we've suggested a few new locations for landscaping, especially along the southern part of the building and west part of the building, and within the parking area. If you look at the bottom right part of their site plan, you'll see the light blue box. That is their proposed expansion area that they hope to expand into within 5 years. If you look to the left part of the site plan, you'll see that red line. That is currently a barricade. So there's pylons and cables that are connecting those pylons, as well as We Energy cables. There are also We Energy cables north of the building that we are currently talking to We Energies about. We would prefer to have those lines buried, and this would also serve the property to the west. So we're currently talking about those. And on this slide, you'll see how the properties to the west and east work together with the brewery in the middle. So ideally, we would love to have the parking shared between the two properties. And that's what we're trying to show here with these very preliminary site plans from the three different projects that I very crudely just copy and pasted together. But you'll see that I also added some crosswalks throughout the parking area that shows pedestrian connectivity between the two buildings, as well as a sidewalk connecting the front entrance of the brewery to National Avenue.
Tony, just for everybody's interest here, I mean that blue area that you're showing, that you pasted into the east, can you just briefly explain that concept to the east over here in blue?
Sure. This is one of the first drawings that we've received from Mandel. So this is the Sona Apartments. That's just showing how close that apartment building is to the properties on the other side of the rail spur. We're also in talks with We Energies to see if about the potential of burying the lines that run along the rail corridor just west of the Sona building. So that blue building is actually an apartment building, and that's just one piece of a planned unit development where we have commercial space as well. So we're hoping to have these plans available to show you some more comprehensive plans of the Sona development in the next couple of months for you.
Mr. Mayor, a question?
Go ahead, Wayne.
Thank you. Who's going to pay for burying the We Energy lines?
I'm not sure. I'm assuming that'll be all part of the negotiations with the development.
Yeah, you're correct, Mayor. Yeah, that is going to be a negotiation. I mean, currently the CDA owns the properties, all of the ones that Tony was just talking about there. And there is a letter of intent from the brewery to purchase it, but all of this stuff is going to evolve yet. And as we work through this and get closer to, as the details come forward.
I think this is an exciting proposal. I'm certainly in favor of it. I'd like to know if you would show where is Gas Tech and where is the farmers market compared to this relationship to this brewery. Steve?
Well, yeah. So I mean, on the right-hand side, where the blue outline, that's the south of National redevelopment area, where Tony had explained, where there would be some apartments, mixed use development. So if you go another couple of 100 feet east of that is 6 Points Crossing or 66th Street. And then that's where the farmer's market is, on the east side of 6 Points Crossing, or otherwise known as 66th Street.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's very close, walkable.
Yeah, for reference, Wayne, the drive that's shown in this image is
Yes.
directly across the drive for the Pick and Save.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Good point. Yep,
Thanks, Katie.
Katie.
I'd move approval.
I'll second.
There's a motion. I think Commissioner Frank might have beat Commissioner Dagenhart to the second by a tenth of a second.
Okay.
Any other discussion on these items? I don't know. I see the
Yeah.
gentlemen from the brewing are on, or the potential brewery are on here. I don't know if they have anything they'd like to say, or just a wave and a nod is good too, whatever.
Can we have a West Dallas trolley one day?
I don't know. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Anyone opposed? The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations. Then we can move on to items 4A and 4B. Bamboo. Katie?
Thank you, Mayor. So Bamboo is a specialty tea, coffee, and smoothie shop. It is a chain. There's not, I don't think any really in this area, but they exist in other places. And under our code, this would be considered a restaurant. So it is a special use and has to have a public hearing, which will be held on November 4th. So this particular restaurant will be within the existing Oak Ridge Shopping Center. It's about a 15-foot wide tenant space. It's pretty small. They're planning to be open 7 days a week from 11 to 9 with 3 employees, and about 90% of their business will be carryout. So yeah, you can see there's the space. It is kind of nestled there in between 2 existing spaces. It's actually taking over a portion of what was, or what currently is, the Smokers Pub. So as part of their renovation, they're adding a new wall to divide those 2 spaces, creating a new public restroom, and then just some additional walls to separate customer and business operations. This shopping center has an existing site and landscape plan on file that has been approved by Plan Commission. This, as part of the special use, they're not proposing to do any exterior changes to the building or the site. And the site is being maintained according to the existing plan on file. So staff does recommend approval subject to Common Council's approval of a special use. And Duke, the applicant, is on the call tonight if you guys have any questions for him. I know that the renovation work is already underway and I think coming along pretty quickly. So my understanding is that he'll be ready to open in the next couple weeks, as soon as this special use approval goes through, I believe. So stop by for smoothies and tea.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Katie.
Sure.
Katie, from a competitive standpoint, and I have no quarrel with this particular proposal, but the coffee shop that's at 6 Points, the one at Epicos Church, is that in business? Are they functioning?
I don't believe that
No.
site is occupied right now.
They're not. They had it going for a year or 2 and then they got a new pastor and they just decided not to continue that operation.
So that's vacant.
Correct. I think they're using it for meetings and things, but they're just not operating it as a coffee shop restaurant for the public.
All right, thank you.
Sure. And I don't know if Mr. Wen, if you have anything you want to add, or you good?
Then I'd move approval.
All right, we have a motion to approve.
Second. I'll second.
In a second. There's no other discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody
Aye.
opposed? Ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Next up, we have items 5A, 5B.
Thank you, Mayor. Items 5A and B are a special use and site landscape and architectural plan review for AmeriGraphics. Not sure if Ted Giantinasio is with us tonight, but
We're all
hi.
here
Hello there. Hi.
with family.
You come up as Carly G. So yeah.
On my daughter's computer, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, hi. Hello, family.
How you doing,
Is
guys?
Good.
Is she the technical consultant tonight?
Yeah, that's right. She's our IT person.
Very good. Very good. Cool. All right. So the company AmeriGraphics is currently in West Milwaukee, and they're relocating to West Allis. And I believe they recently just closed on the property at 2213 South 54th. So congratulations. And
Thank you.
yeah, the zoning of the property is M1 Light Manufacturing District. And as a printing manufacturer, meaning that they're not your retail variety printer, they are dealing with typically distribution and larger format jobs and so on, dealing with the corporate world. It does require a special use. So they're here tonight to present their business, and we have a public hearing scheduled for November 4th. This is an aerial view of the property at basically 54th and Mobile Street. Electric Avenue is to the south, and Mobile to the north. Union Pacific Rail just north of that. But the property is, the building itself is about 13,000 square feet and takes up a majority of the site. There's a first floor and a second floor to the business. There's a little bit of a grade separation between the front and the back of the building. But we'll get into the floor plans in a little bit here. So this is the look of the building as it sits today. The front of the building facing 54th Street was formerly a warehouse office for a book distributor. And this is the back side of the building. Again, a non-retail printing company, several different services in their repertoire: digital printing, lithography, photocopying, binding, distribution services. The hours are pretty much business hours, 8:30 to 5 p.m. They've got about 5 full-time employees. Parking is going to be available behind the building for all of their employees off-street. There's typically up to 2 paper deliveries per week, and that ranges with UPS and FedEx deliveries as well. They'll be using the dock on the back side of the building for those activities. Aside from that, they don't expect to be a very noisy user. Most of their business is conducted during business hours. They don't expect any very early morning or late night evenings. So that's good for the neighborhood that's just to the west of the alley. This is the different floor plans within the building. The first floor on the left is about 5,000 square feet. And then the second floor, which just basically overlays those. You'll notice that part of the first floor is unexcavated. That's given that a little bit of a grade difference. And then the second floor has more of the printing functions and so on, as well as some additional offices. In terms of the site plan and proposed improvements to the site, AmeriGraphics is talking about, we're actually planning on upgrading and repairing that the parking lot. As you can see there's a lot of different cracking, spider cracks. I'm not sure what the technical engineering term our city engineer Pete Daniels would use, but there's some cracks in the pavement, so to speak. And AmeriGraphics is interested. It's part of their 1 to 2 year plan to get that fixed and taken care of. Additionally, on the building itself, they're looking at a new paint scheme on the painted portions of the building, earth and tones, just to sort of address also some tuck pointing and structural repairs to the facade in the rear of the building as well, just to get it weather tight and looking good for years to come. So staff is recommending approval. As noted, we have some Just general things here that we want to get, just sort of confirmed and worked out in item 1A through D. Fairly straightforward things. In fact, Ted has provided a scope of work, so that's more or less taken care of. The site plan is really going to be sort of a little bit of amendment to what he's already provided us in terms of showing just sort of the general parking and loading areas behind the building. They've indicated that they do quite a bit of recycling on the site. They're not going to generate a lot of garbage. They tend to do a lot of more so of recycling and reusing of their products. So any recycle like dumpsters or so on would be kept inside the building and then wheeled out on pickup day for anything that leaves the site. Otherwise, everything will be kept inside the building. Exterior lighting upgrades, just looking for confirmation on that. And then the asphalt terrace in front of the building, we're just asking for that to be redone with either a grass or a concrete pavement. Right now, there's just an asphalt infill between the curb and sidewalk, and it's in disrepair, so it just needs some freshening up. But with that, there's always, I guess we're just looking for confirmation of these things in item 1. The applicant does have time to complete those things. It's not like it has to be done prior to occupancy. Other than that, the items 2 and 3 and 4 are pretty much standards with any site landscaping plan, and then 4 is just because of the special use. So that's coming up on November 4th. So if there's any questions or Mayor Graphics, if you guys have any clarifications, questions?
We're just excited to get moved in and get that building looking good and produce for years to come.
Excellent.
What is your timeline for moving in?
Well, we've already had the safety inspections, the fire, electrical, those guys have already been in. So we've had our electricians in making those changes and getting everything squared away so we can be re-inspected and confirmed. And then we're going to be doing some simple painting inside and things like that, and then start moving in the next couple of weeks.
Well, welcome to West Dallas. I move approval.
Well, thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed? Carries.
Terrific.
Very
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
And Steve, thank you very much for all your help in this process. I appreciate it.
You bet. We'll be in touch with
sure
next
will.
steps. Yep. Okay. Talk
All
to you
right,
later. Have a
guys.
good evening.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye. All right. And we can move on to item 6.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a proposed rezoning in the area of 83rd Street and 83rd National. There's currently 2 homes. You can see in the upper portion of the slide here, 2 duplex homes. They're actually located within an M1 manufacturing zoning district. The homes have been there for some time. In fact, the home in the foreground, while it looks a little bit more modern than 1899, it was actually the original structure or foundation, I think, was constructed in 1899. And then later at some point in the 70s, the house that you see there was actually relocated to this site and fused somehow to the foundation of sorts. So there's some history with that property. And then the house just north of that was built in 1948. But since the origins of the city, as far back as I could tell in terms of some of the zoning research, this area has been zoned M1 manufacturing. Despite that, I mean, the property is zoned light industrial, and one of the 2 owners called the city and expressed concern that they were trying to get a loan to purchase the house closest to 1750, and they were having some trouble with the banks getting a loan or favorable terms given the M1 zoning. Under the M1 zoning, single-family homes, duplexes are considered legal non-conforming uses if they're presently there. In other words, if it was just vacant land, you couldn't build a single-family home or a duplex. So that was giving the bank some trouble and thereby the prospective buyer some issues getting a loan. So more or less, I mean, if rezoned, what we're proposing here is just to, and what the applicants here are requesting is that the 2 properties here be rezoned from M1 manufacturing to C2 commercial. C2 commercial does allow for single family and 2-family homes, dwellings. So that would go from a legal non-conforming to if rezoned to a legal conforming use. we've scheduled a public hearing for November 17th. And, the good news is that the land use plan would support commercial zoning. We've actually got it earmarked as mixed use development, but, I guess commercial zoning is a step closer to mixed use when talking about, residential and commercial mixed together. So we're in support of this rezoning.
Mr. Mayor, a question for Steve.
Yes,
Go
Wayne.
ahead, Wayne.
Steve, are there any negatives, any implications relative to not doing this? Any reason we shouldn't do it? I know you support it, but I just want to find out if there's anything you've been looking at that might suggest that we not do this.
No, nothing I can see. I mean, I think from the planning and zoning perspective, the National Avenue corridor is evolving, especially in these areas. We've noticed a lot of street and streetscaping improvements. We have a National Avenue corridor plan, which calls for more mixed use, more commercial development. Rezoning this to commercial would be right in line with the National Avenue corridor plan, the long range plan for the city in terms of land use. And then from the, I guess just in terms of the types of uses that are allowed within the C2 commercial, there's a diverse mix of different uses that are available, whereas M1 light manufacturing is a little bit more static. And both owners of the properties have indicated their support for rezoning this. If they were interested in tearing down the homes and building a warehouse, then they'd want to keep it M1 light manufacturing, but that's not their interest here. So I think it's a win-win for everybody here.
Thank you, Steve. I'd move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Is there any discussion or are there any questions? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Ayes have it. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we will have item 7.
Thank you, Mayor.
8, I think.
7.
So 7.
Allied
yeah.
Pool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No problem.
That's okay.
Basically, Allied Pool. I think Mike of Phoenix Investors is on the line here with us, but perhaps some others. But Allied Pool is relocating from the east side of Highway 100 to the west side, and locating within a two former tenant spaces next to the tile shop, if you're familiar with that is. So the picture on the top is where Allied Pools is currently, and then they're moving to the property below that. And this is the property where they're moving to, up on the very top now. And that's just a closer view of it in the picture in the middle. And they're proposing to bring with them one of the two Allied Pool signs and putting it up on the new facade of the 1701 108th property. And from strictly speaking, in terms of wall signage, that's just fine. There's no issue with that whatsoever. But there are 2 existing non-conforming pole signs on the property. It's kind of hard to see. There's one on the very south side facing Highway 100, and then another sort of in the middle of the site. The new owner, Phoenix Investors, is proposing to take out both of these existing freestanding signs, the pole sign and this lower one here, and then replace it with a new freestanding sign where the taller one is located today. And that will be coming back for more specific staff review and permitting down the road, but just wanted to show a concept of what they're proposing right now. It will have a brick base to match the building, and there could be, there likely also be some additional cap features and side features just to meet the ordinance, as well as a landscape around the base. But the intent is to comply with the ordinance, and we're just showing it here for reference. But so within a year, I guess we just want to advise that the Plan Commission that we are eager to approve the wall sign for Allied Pool, and just advise Planning Commission that the applicants will be coming back and working with staff on sign permitting, removing the existing non-conforming signage, and bringing the site into compliance. So we are recommending approval of the plan.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Item carries. Thank you. Next up, item 8. Now we're on item 8.
Thank you.
No problem.
Am I missing some slides here, guys?
Comp plan.
Katie did, I don't know if something,
That's okay. We don't need any slides for this one.
you sure? Otherwise I can open the file if you want.
I think it's okay. It's
Okay.
so hopefully everyone received a copy of the public participation strategy. So this strategy is something that is required for the city to adopt as we are approaching the comprehensive plan update process. And so the comprehensive plan we're required to update every 10 years. And that 10-year mark is coming up in February. And so in the strategy, what we lay out is that we actually would like to shift when the start of our comprehensive plan is, so that it can so we can be starting it and using data that is available after the census is released. Because in our current phasing, we are basically at the tail end of when any census data is remotely relevant. So we would like to do a very basic minimal update at this time, just to meet the basic requirements of the state statutes for doing an update. And then as census data is released over the next year or two, we can start doing a much more comprehensive and robust planning process like we traditionally would. And that would involve much more public engagement, having small focus groups and a steering committee and all that sort of stuff that if anyone who was around for the last one would remember. So basically the strategy outlines all of the typical required things that we have to do, publishing a public notice, making the plans available to the public, holding a public hearing, and then looking forward to that second phase, kind of outlining some more of the in-depth planning that we'd like to do. So, and again, this will help us not only with this current comprehensive plan update, but every comprehensive plan update that we do, for decades to come, by resetting that year one date. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or comments. We do plan to have a draft of the very minimal update available hopefully next month. And so you'll see that it will look very similar to the existing plan that is adopted. And then the real changes and the real robust updates will come in, at the next phase 2 update.
Mr. Mayor, a question for Katie.
Go ahead.
Katie, is there anything we're supposed to do this evening?
So this has to be, this strategy has to be adopted by Common Council. And so we're asking for Plan Commission's recommendation for them to do that.
So you need a motion?
Yes, please. I'm not actually sure if it's required, but I think it's
It can't hurt.
Desirable?
Yes, it would be. I think it's better if Plan Commission supports the strategy and the approach. So if you do support it,
I'd move approval.
we would like to move forward with this process.
Thank you. I'd move
Second.
approval.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion, a second. Any other discussion or any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Item carries. And then we'll move on to item 9, which is just a reminder that, as you may know, some of the newer members may not, but we usually merge November and December into one meeting due to the holidays towards the end of the months. So this is just the reminder that we will hopefully see all of your smiling faces on December 2nd and not in November.
Okay.
If there's nothing to add on that, we can move on to item E, which is adjournment.
That's a heavy one.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to take this.
I'll move
I'll move to
approval.
adjourn.
I'll second that.
Yay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. See
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Or- all right.
Nice
Bye-bye.
Thanksgiving.
Likewise.